Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Common Touch of Fantasy. My name is Paul. It is Monday, so it is review day. Today's review is Crash Override by Zoe Quinn. And Crash Override by Zoe Quinn is a must-read for anyone that operates a good amount of their time on the internet, especially content creators. That includes you, BookTube. Quinn takes us back to the beginnings of Gamergate, the harassment, what caused it, how it affected her life, and her commitment to helping others overcome online harassment. Quinn first starts off this memoir in a very memoir-like way by explaining her background and her love for gaming. Anyone in her age range, myself included, will be very familiar with all the stories that she talks about as she's gaming in the late 90s, early 2000s. I always enjoy this type of reminiscing because, like in Felicia's Days memoir, this gives the reader an equal footing with the author because, we share some of the same memories. What is important during this time in this part of this memoir is that she does not gloss over the fact that she was not a perfect individual. Because Quinn is honest about her mistakes, it makes us much more sympathetic about what she has to say later in the book with her harassment. The next portion of this book actually talks about the actual abuse and harassment from her ex-boyfriend and how that turned into what is known as Gamergate, as he mobilized like this huge, large group of individuals to harass and hurt Quinn's reputation. During this portion of the memoir, Quinn educates the reader with terms such as doxing, brigading, swatting, and as someone that wasn't completely unfamiliar with those terms, it was nice to see those terms defined from a victim's viewpoint. The most important thing to take away from her account of her harassment is that as internet users, we need to be more critical of what we read and not easily accept or share stories about the misery and harassment of others lightly. The large second portion of this book is less memoir and more about the battles facing her movement and company called Crash Override. Through her ordeal with the help of trusted friends, she begins to help navigate mob harassment. As she begins to contact companies and law enforcement, it becomes obvious that internet harassment is something that isn't taken too seriously. Most law enforcement are ill-equipped to understand and to really take online harassment seriously. A judge even tells her, just get offline. Quinn mercilessly throughout this entire memoir tells the reader over and over again that the just get offline advice is one of the worst things you can say to somebody that lives their life online and has their career online. She mentions that a lot of the prejudices that many people who are harassed are some of the same prejudices that they might encounter at law enforcement. Companies, start to take her a little bit more seriously as she makes this group of individuals. But a lot of the companies also still care more about their bottom line and hide behind free speech clauses to allow harassment to continue on their platforms. Near the end of the book, Quinn gives us some tips on how to navigate the waters of online abuse and harassment. What do we do when we are a victim of harassment ourselves, and how do we respond when we see others being harassed? She points out many times in this book that marginalized individuals, the black, trans women, are the ones being harassed the most. Her main point when it comes to being an ally for people that are getting harassed is to make sure that you have consent from them to help them and share their story. Sometimes well-meaning people make situations much worse when they signal boost the harassment even more. Each person deals with the internet abuse differently, and there's no one way to go about fixing things and dealing with things. No one way is correct. I thought this was a great read and an important read for anyone putting themselves out there on the internet. Quinn gives a lot of great tips on how to protect your privacy and how to go about navigating the online world. The cultural upheaval that came about from Gamergate is currently being played out at the highest levels of government and protests around the country. A lot of the same thinking that causes the harassment online are individuals that many are protesting against. neo-Nazis, white supremacists get their start with online harassment, with harassment campaigns. And this book shines a light on their tactics and how they think. The second half of this book did slow down a bit. There was a lot of legality talk, but it's important to read. I recommend this to anyone that wants to read a good book and how to understand online harassment and what to do about it and how to just navigate the online world overall. I think this is an important read. I think many people on BookTube would like it. Check it out. Borrow it from your local library and give it a read. It's worth your time. Guys, thanks for watching. If you want to read my written review, the link is below in the description box. I will see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.